What's up, YouTube? It's Dontavious Hill, 3-time Team USA high jumper, 5-time NCAA All-American with a personal best of 7 feet 5 inches in the high jump, and now coaching high school athletes all across the country to personal best, school records, state championship qualifications, national championship qualifications, you name it. All right. So today, what I want to talk about is athletes who do not have a pit, or our parents and coaches who have children / athletes who do not have a high jump pit to practice on, right? And the thing is, what usually happens for a lot of athletes, they tell themselves that, oh, I don't have a high jump pit, so I can't get better in the high jump. Or parents think, oh, well, we don't have a pit at our school, so it's just difficult to get good in the high jump. That is all false, okay? That is all false, right? If you think to some of the greatest athletes who've ever competed, even in different sports, if they did not have what they needed, they would go and get it or they would find it. Okay. And that's as simple as it gets, guys. I did not have a high jump pit when I was in high school. When I first started, my personal best was 4 feet 8 inches. Then I went to 5'10" as a sophomore, 6'3" as a junior, 7 feet as a senior, 7'5" today as a professional, have been ranked top 25 in the world, competed at Olympic trials. Did not have a high jump pit in high school, did not stop me. I've coached hundreds of high school athletes. Multiple did not have high jump pits, did not stop them. Still got PRs, still qualify for state. All those good things, right? And I know you're asking, wondering, how is that possible? Well, the thing is, guys, the truth about the sport of high jump, and I'm going to write it up here. So the truth about the sport of high jump is, it's 90-10. Sport of high jump is 90-10. When I say 90-10, what I mean is high jump is 90% on the ground, 10% in the air, right? 90% on the ground, 10% in the air, right? And the thing is, if high jump is 90% on the ground, that means the pit technically is the least of your worries, because from hearing something like this, you understand that the approach or what's happening on the ground is significantly more important, because the thing is, everything that happens on the ground is going to determine what happens in the air. Okay, so number one, guys, high jump is 90-10, and most people don't understand that, and that is why they always feel like, oh, I need a pit to get better, or oh, I need this, or oh, I need that, right? Although it can be beneficial to have a high jump pit, it can also cause negative returns or a negative effect if you do and you don't know what you're doing, right? So that's the whole thing, right? And that's literally how some of my athletes who did not have a high jump pit, or me myself who did not have a high jump pit, was able to go on to be state champion or get scholarships and do all these different things, even without a pit, just from understanding the concept of high jump being 90-10 and knowing what drills to do, what workouts to do, what exercise to do on the ground that is going to help you when you actually get on the pit in the competition, or when you actually get to a pit at some point, right? And that is part of what makes all the difference. Not only the mindset, right? Understanding that it's 90-10, but knowing what to do when you understand that it's 90-10. Knowing what drills, right? What drills, right? How can someone without a pit beat someone with a pit, right? It's literally about knowing exactly what to do, okay? And that's what high jumpers learn inside of my program. But secondly, what I want to talk about today in the concept of not having a pit is a term called pit diminishing returns, right? So pit diminishing returns, we're going to call it PDR. So PDR, pit diminishing returns. And when I say pit diminishing returns, what I'm referring to is athletes who have a pit, but since they utilize the pit in the wrong ways, or not properly, or too much, or you name it, then they get diminishing returns from it, right? And diminishing returns can look like a bunch of different things. Now, Diminishing returns can look like injury. Basically, from jumping too often, you get injury. Let's say bad habits. Bad habits is a part of pit diminishing returns because athletes who have pits all the time, they work on the wrong things, right? Whether you're jumping entirely too much or whether you are jumping and you're focusing on the wrong thing, which majority of all high jumpers do. They're always focusing on the arch and how their back bends and all that kind of stuff going over the bar in a sport that is 90-10, right? So they're going to get diminishing returns off of jumping too often, injury, etc., creating bad habits, only focusing on things like the arch, which do not contribute to the 90-10. And then you also have lack of approach, right? So we just write approach. Approach lack. So since these athletes have a so-called resource in the high jump pit, they do not necessarily focus much on this aspect of things because they're so worried about jumping and so worried about taking off or so worried about arching their back, they're missing the key component of the sport, right? Key component in the approach, right? So we have injury, too much jumping, bad habits, wrong thing, approach lacking, focus, poor focus, focusing on the wrong thing, right? And that is what pit diminishing returns is. And this kind of happens for athletes who do have a pit, which is a good portion of a lot of high jumpers. But for all of our high jumpers who do not have a pit and you're looking to improve, the key is knowing exactly what to do, right? And I really want to explain that to you in another way here. So what we do inside of my program, the High Jump Blueprint, is we help our athletes develop not only their mindset, but also high jump wise, also training plan wise, right? And at the end of that, that is a recipe for success, right? And to write this out for you, mindset M is where we help our athletes develop preparation tools, different mental skills that are going to help them develop and also help them in the sport of high jump, but also in life, right? So mindset, high jump. This is where we teach our athletes exactly what to do technically, what drills specifically to focus on, how to actually get over a bar, how to actually approach a bar, how to get your mark, all these different things. All right. This is what we teach them in high jump, in training plan. This is where I write our athletes' training plans over a 6-month period to a year. I write their training plans on their weights, their plyometrics, their sprints, their jump days, how much rest they should be taking. All of this is based off of my decade of experience in the high jump, from going from 4.8 to 7.5, being coached in the SEC Division I, or being on Team USA, you name it. That is the knowledge that your athletes will be getting, okay? And when we do all of these things, all right, they all go here, S, which is success, right? And for our athletes, that can mean a lot of different things. We have athletes who have made it to the state championship, became state champion, medal, podium finish at state, national championship, All-American, right? You name it, guys. That can look different for everyone. And our athletes have achieved all of those things, even school records included. And for some of our athletes, the goal is to get recruited, which also can stem from getting better mindset-wise, high jump technique-wise, and training plan-wise, right? And that is what we do inside of my program, the High Jump Blueprint. So if you're a high school high jumper, or you're the parent, or you're the coach of a high school high jumper, and you're tired of guessing with your training or not knowing what to do, or feeling like things like not having a high jump pit is holding you back, then do me a favor and book a call down below, or do yourself a favor and book a call down below by filling out the application so you can apply for coaching. right? And when you get inside, what we're going to do is hop on a free call just to walk through your high jump journey, see what's going on with you. And if everything aligns and we're a good fit for your athlete, or if you are the athlete, then we'll get you plugged into the program, get you jumping higher immediately, and get some high bars, okay? So like I said, guys, click the link down below, fill out the application to apply for coaching so we can get you rolling, and let's get some high bars.